Why is it okay for him to not push school on the kids? Why is it okay for him to be living in a bed bug infested house, almost foreclosed on, and everyone's okay with it? This is 100% parental alienation, and the courts have enabled the abuse of me, the control of me, and I'm done. If you guys cannot see that, why would I be fighting for my kids?
Mom explodes after finding out her kids choose to live with dad. Okay.
All right, so, Ms. Sewell, do you understand the recommendation?
I do understand it. I understand what's wrote. I don't understand how we got here.
Okay, so you disagree with the recommendation.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is going to be good.
How we got there is we have an independent, experienced front of the courts, facilitator.
I personally feel
that
like
has
she's
interviewed your children. So your children are 16, 14, 13. This is not like a 6-year-old. So much more weight to be given on the thoughts and input of the children. I can guarantee you that, Ms. Sewell. So maybe you should ask yourself these questions, because obviously this is what the children want.
the children would always choose ice cream over broccoli, and that's what's happening right here. I serve my children broccoli. He chooses to serve them ice cream. Children will always choose ice cream over broccoli. There are serious concerns within this case that have not been addressed, and unfortunately, it's so sickening and disturbing, this case, that the outcome of this recommendation is me dropping out. I don't wish to continue this anymore. My children have been failing educationally for years, and he's the one in charge of getting them to school, taking them to school. He's been charged with truancy charges. My son has dropped out of school. My children are depressed, on medication, and all absence of their mother. But yes, continue the same path for them.
By the way, guys, she said they're thinking of deleting themselves. They have a bunch of issues, right? This is what she's saying.
Everybody agreed that something different needed to be done, and choosing the same sickening and despair life for them is enough for me to decide that continue on and do that. My son is now dropped out of school. There's no changing that. My daughter had a 1.3 grade average last year. I have went to court every single year, fighting to know knowledge about my kids, fighting to be present for my kids, fighting for my kids to attend birthday parties, fighting for my kids to attend funerals. I've had to go to court to know my kids' education, to know their therapist. I've had to go to court to have you tell him that he had to keep them in school so he wouldn't take them out for acting classes. I've had to go to court for all these things, and nothing has been done. So now my children, 13, 15, and 16 years old, are on medication, failing classes, depressed, sexual activity, talking to men online, absolute disgust, all, and he won't do anything about it. I'm not allowed to be present. I'm pushed out of the way. So of course the kids want to choose whether they're not parented, not governed, and he's feeding them ice cream over broccoli. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with them. However, I don't choose to be a part of it anymore. I choose to not have the police called on me when I take away my son's Xbox. I choose to not have CPS called on me when I'm trying to get help.
Is she going to just keep talking? This explains that. We got our, I'm going to take a screenshot there. This is going to be, I'm taking a screenshot of the screen. We got our thumbnail shot. There we go. Perfect. Quick break here to talk about the sponsor of this channel, FathersHaveRights.com. One of the expert attorneys in our prenup guide explains a dangerous myth, which is that a lot of people think that you don't need an experienced attorney to draft your prenup. Some people even try to draft their prenups themselves and are shocked when the judge throws that prenup out in court. At FathersHaveRights.com, we've made it easy to learn how to get a prenup. Our expert attorneys explain everything in clear, easy to understand language. Click the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men protecting their future marriages the right way.
Help for my daughter's problems. I choose to not have false police reports called on me about stalking my ex. I'm choosing, if you guys don't choose better for my kids, I'm choosing to step aside. Flat out. I have 2 other children to parent and raise and worry about.
Oh, damn.
That's how I feel.
It's a Miss
This man,
Sewell.
hold on. There's another one thing. I
Oh.
started this. I started all these parenting time complaints, and up until this point, because he was allowing the kids to move freely between homes, it was working out fantastically great until he tried to strong arm me into paying him some money. Hold on one second. He had moved a man into the basement with my 12-year-old daughter, lied to me about it, lied to the courts about it, wouldn't let CPS in. And my daughter is expressing sexual habits and behaviors, and nobody will investigate it, and nobody hears me. Would you be comfortable with your daughter expressing sexual and doing things online, knowing that there is a man living down in the basement and she's telling people that she's dating a 40-year-old man? Would you feel comfortable with that?
So since she's not going to stop, I'm just going to jump in right now. Listen, here's the problem why none of this matters. None of this matters. This is exactly like those false accusations, like the woman that I reported on in one of these court hearings who was saying, oh, the dad was accusing him of the worst possible thing a dad can do to the children. And so they get the kids, they take them through interviews. They have processes to actually validate any of these claims, right? CPS shows up, so on and so forth. And after talking to these kids, they're like, no, you're lying. You're making stuff up. But she insists. And so they do it again. And they kept on doing that. And this father, who hadn't seen his kids in a very long time, was being falsely accused. And I say falsely because they did the work, just like they did right here. They spoke to those kids, and the kids said, hey, mom's the problem. We want to live with dad. And now she can't handle it.
This is who I'm leaving my children with.
First of all, Ms. Sewell, have you reviewed I think Mr. Axon filed in the court file, there's University of Michigan Psychiatric Emergency Department reports?
I have. And
Okay.
can I explain something to you?
Stated June 6th, whether your daughter was taken to the hospital. She claims that there's ongoing, this is her words.
Yes, can I explain something to you?
Mother.
Yes, can I explain something to you? So
I just want to make sure that you don't need, want to make sure you saw these.
I did. So I did, absolutely. And it made me bawl. It's so sickening because here's the thing.
It's sickening that the daughter says you're the abusive one, right? Right.
Here's the thing, Your Honor. Mr. Atkinson, I was explaining my concerns of what I was finding on her phone and explaining what I have known my son to do and explaining what we had just came across. The referee wanted to stay that the kids were not allowed around each other and was concerned about relationships because what I was finding on Isabel's phone while she was in Mr. Atkinson's home. So I explained this to the court. The referee was like, whoa, something's going on. You know, the kids aren't allowed around each other. Mr. Atkinson went home and told Isa and London that I was accusing them of having an relationship and blamed the entire thing on me. So she absolutely was so mad at me. And I think I provided text messages to the court where she was saying, my mom's so weird. She thinks I'm having sex with my brother, and she thinks I'm having sex with my dad's roommate. But these are the things that I'm finding on her phone, and I'm providing them to the court. I'm not having conversations with my daughter about what I'm thinking. I'm having conversations with Aaron Atkinson, trying to get to the bottom of it. And then he's going and telling he is showing her, even these classes, he is showing them the paperwork and putting it in their faces, absolutely causing problems. I've came to the courts every single year about things that I'm badmouth, I'm talked about.
Man, how did he last? Look, he's dead inside. He's been doing this for a while, just zoning out like that. You see him? You know, he's been doing this for a while. This right here is a coping mechanism that he's perfected to deal with anything that reminds him of the past trauma of dealing with this chick.
Of course the kids view me like this. This is 100% parental alienation, and the courts have enabled the abuse of me, the control of me, and I'm done. If you guys cannot see that, why would I be fighting for my kids to abuse them? All I want for them to do is do better in school. Hold him accountable to that court order. It's a court order for a reason. You're not allowed to badmouth me every chance you get. My kids don't need to grow up in a toxic environment of like that. I love them so much and only want the best for them. So yeah, they hate me for making them clean their rooms. They hate me for making them, grounding them, taking away their cell phone. I took away my daughter's cell phone because of the things that she was posting on TikTok and the boys that she was talking to. He turned around and bought her a new phone. After all this, I can't. There's no disciplining the kids. There's no wanting better for them. I am merely nothing more than a babysitter. So I choose to not do it. I cannot live, and I cannot be exposed to the police knocking on my door again, to the CPS, to the false CPS call. I've been dealing with this for far too long. Far too long. And this is exactly what he wanted. So congratulations, Aaron. You've won. Congratulations. This is absolutely what you've
Congratulations, Aaron.
wanted. I hope you're happy with the results. To be honest with you, I feel so bad for my kids, but I feel so bad for my kids' future that they have to live like this. 100%. The kid's therapist is his therapist. Can you imagine what my kids would say if my kids attended my therapist and all they listened to is negative
I can't wait to read these comments.
Lies that I said about my ex, the paid actor, the one that literally gets paid to make people believe his story.
Ms. Sewell, the children need their mother. So I hope you keep an open
and they
mind.
also
They
need a
their
happy
mother.
mother and one mother that's not being constantly controlled and abused and enabled by the court system to continue the abuse. I cannot handle it anymore. I have hit a peak. I've hit a moment. I cannot. The summer goes so perfect and so well, and it's so harmonious. And when the kids were moving freely from home to home, it was so good. It was so happy in that time. It was so good. But money is a root of all evil, so I'm sorry I didn't have the money at the time.
What?
All right, take a deep breath, Ms. Sewell. First of all, make sure you're listed. You should be involved in school activities, going to parent-teacher conferences. Make sure that you're listed as a contact at school. Absolutely, you're the parent.
I have had to go to court and fight for every single thing of that, and I do. I attend everything that I am aware of, that I can. I attend everything. I do everything that I'm supposed to. I show up to therapy. I do everything that I'm supposed to do.
Guys, this is crazy. Why is he letting her just go off like this? I have never seen. I don't know if this is patience. Tisha, you know it's not patience. Okay, my bad. It's not patience. It's privilege. Because if he was going off like this, we already know the result might be charged for contempt of court.
Everything and more. I adopted my life in 2020 as if he was standing right next to me. And you can ask any about that. I said, I will live my life as if Aaron Atkinson is standing next to me because that's how it feels. Every move I make, I have to make sure that he's okay with it, how he can spin it, and how he can use it against me and use it against me in court. And that's how I have become this person that I am so proud of today. The fact that you are sitting here and saying my kids don't deserve to have their mother. Why is it okay for this
She had to leave to laugh her butt off and came back like
man to have truancy charges? Why is it okay for him to not push school on the kids? Why is it okay for him to be living in a bed bug infested house, almost foreclosed on, and everyone's okay with it? Why are you okay with it?
Right, Ms. Sewell, the court fully understands your position. Keep in tabs if, in fact, the children are missing school. Bring it to the court's attention. The court will make changes.
You have all the paperwork right now. You have all the paperwork right now. I have. That's a joke, you telling me that. I brought all text messages, school paperwork. I have absolutely brought everything. The 37 absences. I brought that, Your Honor.
Waiting.
Mr. Atkinson, do you understand the recommendation this morning?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting the recommendation?
No, I do not.
Okay, the court's going to add a couple things to this recommendation, if you could, please, Ms. Brower. Number one is that All three children shall be involved in counseling, and they shall not be your counselor or therapist, Mr. Atkinson. Not someone that you are seeing. Just understand, all three children shall be enrolled in counseling. They've all three got problems. So all three should be enrolled in counseling, and they should not be your therapist or counselor. And finally, if the children miss school because of illness, you need to take them to the doctor that day. No unexcused absences. So if you take them home,
Schedules the appointment during school.
Please not interrupt, Mr. Atkinson.
Finally. Whoa. Guys, 14 minutes of blabbermouth.
If these children are sick, they don't go to school, you need to take them to a doctor that day. Understood?
Understood.
And Ms. Sewell, please keep tabs on the records. If in fact they're missing school, the court's we'll bring them back into court, and the court wants answers as to why they're not in school.
This is a joke.
Right.
I've been doing this for years, Your Honor. Every single year I provide the school record. Every single year. So you're telling me to do exactly what you told me last year, which was the thing that you exactly told me the year before, which is the exact thing that you told me the year before. You've told me this every single year. Every single year you've told me this. I've been bringing this to you every single year. Every single year, Your Honor.
Well, we've got 3 files here, and we've been a lot of activity, but bring them timely. Ms. Sewell,
I do, Your Honor. It has 30
again,
days to, you have 30 days to file the complaint. I do, Your Honor. I do. I file everything on time. I do bring it to you. I do. So you're telling me the exact same thing as you did a year ago. So what is it going to be? One more child is going to drop out? Are we going to wait till one more child gets to drop out? Because this could have been prevented.
Bro, I am in disbelief at the leniency being showed here in front of my eyes.
Absolutely could have been prevented.
Court's attention.
This absolutely could have been prevented.
I'm not going to talk over you, try to talk above you, Ms. Sewell. So court will adopt the recommendation. I will conclude this review. Do bring it to the court's attention, please. I will look at it. So please bring it to the court's attention, and the court's going to amend the recommendation with those.
Your Honor, can I ask something else?
Sure, go ahead.
So we have a thing on our
This is crazy.
order that we are not supposed to talk about each other on social media. However, I'm not being quiet about what's being done to me at court anymore. And since the court order has never been followed before, and there are no consequences. So if I start speaking out about what's being done in the care that Mr. Atkinson, and I have already interviewed with the podcast company that wants to hear my story about what's been happening with friend of the court, CPS, and how I've been treated and the injustice, and the fact that you're still allowing this behavior and you're giving custody to him. Am I allowed to speak about it, or are you putting a no speak order on me? Am I allowed to tell my story, or is this allowed to be aired?
If you're not sure about following court orders, then you should consult an attorney, because yes, you violate court orders, people can be held in contempt. With that,
okay, but why is he allowed to be held? Why is he allowed to disobey the court order, but he is not allowed to be held? He never gets held in contempt. So why is it that I only am allowed to be held in contempt, but he does not have to be held in contempt? You just dismissed about 20.
Both parties are subject to the contempt powers of this court and violate court orders. With that,
but you're not, because you just dismissed all my court orders that he violated. So are you going to choose to violate me and not him once again? I'm just saying, I want to speak out. I want this podcast to be aired. I very much want my voice to be heard. I think that
it's being heard. It's been heard, and she is making it to podcasts.
The people can benefit from hearing my story about the injustice that's been being caused to me. I want to speak out about my story, and I want to make sure that I'm not being contempt of court again, because I'm the only one that gets held in contempt of court. So I'm asking you to lift that ban on me being able to speak and me being able to speak about my story.
Your request is denied.
Okay, I will take my chances.
Okay, that will conclude this hearing.
All right, let's check out a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top comment here reads, she was really proud of that ice cream broccoli line. Yeah. Another person here says she went on nonstop, even interrupting and ranting over the judge for over 15 minutes. Dad was following Napoleon's advice, never interfere with an enemy while they're in the process of destroying themselves. Very true. Here's somebody else who says, dude has 1,000-yard stare for a reason. He's been in the trenches with this emotional disaster for years. Somebody else here added, 6-year-olds want ice cream. 16-year-olds want peace and consistency, leadership. She is chaos. I can see it. Right. If you don't think she goes off like that in her own house, then you would be mistaken. Somebody else here added, if you think dad got custody because the kids like him better. You don't understand how the courts work. For dad to get custody, something happened. I mean, you heard it right there in the video, and the kids are making claims and validating mistreatment. That's going to sway things. Somebody else, she says, I'm sorry, but the family court system heavily favors mothers. If she's not getting her way, there's a reason. Here's another person who says, the silent thousand mouth stare of the father as she rants speaks volumes. That's what I saw. That's exactly what I thought. Here's somebody else who says, dude was smart and just let her talk and talk. Another person who says, I feel like I'm owed child support after watching. Yeah, me too. Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.